Hello, beautiful people. This is R from DJR Union, and today I'm going to be bringing you the card list from the Union Arena One Punch Man Yellow card list. Unfortunately, D and J will not be joining me for this video, mainly because of the fact that D is unfortunately sick, and J has a couple of personal matters that he must take care of. So, without further ado, it's just going to be me rocking solo for this video. So, I hope you guys enjoy it. I also have the camera here for you guys to see my honest reactions to the list. There were still a couple of cards that, of course, I did a little sneak peek to, but other than that, everything else is just gonna be a raw reaction. You guys like the quality, or you like the little video that I have off to the side? Just let me know down in the comment section down below, and then hopefully we'll just bring more of them out for you to enjoy. So, without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and get onto the card list. And starting off, we have Bomb, the zero cost 1 AP. Choose one up to one character on the field and gains 1k BP to the end of turn. So pretty much this card is like your buff card. Zero cost, you just play it onto the field to buff up one of your other characters by 1k BP, which isn't pretty bad. It's actually pretty decent if I do say so myself. And it also has a nice little buff trigger right here to be able to switch a character to active and give another 3k BP. Would like it to have 1k BP instead of 500 BP, but you can't pick and choose around that because you have some cards 500, some cards 1k, but heck, what can you do? So pretty decent card to start it off. Next, we have another bomb, 3 energy, 1 action point. When played, I can choose up to 1 bomb or silver fang card on my field, and it gains impact +1 until the end of the turn. Not bad. That's actually not bad. So pretty much, already I can tell from this card there's probably going to be a deck that you can play that's involved solely around bomb and silver fang, aka Bang. The number 3 here, where you could just play this card and just buff up one of your other bomb or silver fang characters and just be able to get a little bit more aggressive with them. Right here, it's already good, 3500 BP, which is also pretty decent for 3 energy, and it's another buff trigger, so it's not bad, not bad. Next, we have King. Yes, sir, the Almighty King. Yeah, nothing too serious about this card. It's just a simple, you play it, you bounce another 1 or less energy card back to your hand to generate 2 energy. So pretty basic, not much to be said about this one. And we have the Genos, fodder card, course 0 energy, 1 action. And it has a get trigger because some cards that we've been seeing lately, they have raid versions, but they don't have get trigger. So it's good to see a nice little get trigger every now and then. All right, we got another Genos. What does this one do? Choose one of the following when it's played. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 signed common card from among them, and add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order, and if you add a card to your hand, place one into your sideline. Pretty good, pretty good. Especially like you can already tell just from this card alone that you're probably going to be running a Genos Saitama deck because those two go hand in hand. You have to master and the Disciple, of course. Um, so to be able to dig 5 cards deep to find any Saitama card and add it to your hands, actually pretty good, pretty strong. I like that effect. And it has an additional effect here where it says if you already have a Saitama on your field, you can just draw a card. So the fact that you're able to choose between either finding another Saitama or just drawing a card if you already have a Saitama, I love that option. I love that opportunity to choose which one you want to do. And for 2 energy and at 2500 meters, not bad. I like it a lot. Definitely see him being played as a 2, maybe even a 4 of at that. Of course, the alt art. And we got another Genos. This one is not a raid, even though it looks like a raid. So first things first, nullify impact. Funny thing, there was a couple of people who were mentioning down in the comments how nullify impact is probably going to be a bit more important now than it did in the past, especially with these overpowered Saitama cards that are making their debut here in this set. Which I feel as though like that they're pretty on the ball with how it's going to turn out because one person even stated how there's a lot like this game revolves around a lot of impact cards, which is true. There are indeed a lot of cards that either give impact or already have impact on it. So now it's getting to the point where it's like, hey, we're going to be needing more character cards with nullify impact, but not just nullify impact, but can also do additional things on top of it to be able to stand up to against these powerful impact characters while still providing their own personal advantage to the playing field. So if we look more on its effect, if a Saitama's on your field, it gains 1k BP, so that's also pretty good. So it makes him a 4k beater. He also is able to generate 2 energy, which is also good for this Genos. And a win sideline ability. If this card is sidelined due to losing a battle, choose up to 1 character on your field and switch to the active. That's actually pretty good, honestly. So pretty much not only does it have nullify impact to where it's like, say, hey, if I'm dealing with this OP Saitama, I can negate the impact's ability. But also after dying, I can take one of my other characters that I already blocked with and restand it back up to potentially block again. So just a little more defensive mechanisms to be able to hold off and buy yourself that extra turn to be able to try to steal the game. So I really like that. Of course, makes it even better that it's a color trigger, which thank freaking goodness we get a color trigger card that only has 1 AP versus these stupid 2 AP color triggers. So I'm pretty happy about that. And of course, it's a rest color trigger. You're able to rest an opponent's frontline character, and it remains set to rest the next time he switched to active. So definitely a good card. I can definitely see him being played as a 4. And of course, you have an alt versus, so can't wait to pull him. Next, we have Silverfang, the hero. 1 energy, 1 AP, 2k plus P, so you can gain more P. So if on the front line, I can choose 1 other character on my field to the hand. Oh, return 1 other character on the field to your hand. If I do, I can choose one of the abilities listed below. I can only activate this Silverfang ability 1 time each turn. So you can't spam the ability if you have multiple of these characters on the field. Let me just double check that. Yep, this Silverfang ability. So it counts towards, like, if you have multiple on the field, you can't sit here and activate one, then play another one and activate it again. So pretty smart are they in to like avoid abusing the card by playing multiple of them, which I hope they keep this trend going forward with more cards they print later on, because if they print a card that's like this, but it doesn't have the only 1 time each turn ability, then that'll kind of be like, why'd you made it this way, but not make it for future sets? But we'll see how it goes. So its first effect, switch this character to active. I think that's pretty good. If you play it on the front line, you can return a character to your another character to your hand to switch to active just to be aggressive with it. So that's really good. I think that's also good because I think there's a card in this set that you can, I think it's a Tatsumaki, that you can rest it to rest another card in your opponent's field. So that'll be good in combo with this card. So you play this card, bounce that card back to your hand, and then now you can switch this to active to go ahead and swing with it. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that effect. And its second effect, this card gains 1500 BP till the end of turn. So if this card's already active and you want to bounce a card to your hand, you can just turn it into a 3500 beater. For 1 energy, 1 AP, I think that's pretty good. Plus it's a draw trigger. So definitely a powerful card, definitely a solid card that could see some play. The 0 cost Silverfang. Nothing special. Nullify impact. We already went over how important nullify impact is going to be in these coming stats. So just your basic nullify impact. So not bad, not a bad card to see. Next we have a raid Silverfang. Okay, so when played, choose up to 1 character on the field. It gains this character cannot be chosen by your opponent's character abilities until the start of your next turn. That's pretty good. It gives itself a bit of like protection after being played. Kind of similar to the EU from the Demon Slayer set, where it protects itself for a whole turn. So unfortunately it doesn't protect from everything. Like say if you were playing like an event card or a kill event card, or you use a trigger ability from your life, it doesn't protect against that. But if anyone's trying to be fancy with their character's ability, it's not going to work on Silverfang. Also, when attacking, if you have 2 or less cards in your hand, draw a card. So it also gives you the opportunity to refill your hand if you're running low on cards. So basically a little bit of protection and the ability to refill your hand if you're running low on cards. I'll take that for a 4 energy, 1 AP, and 4k BP. So your basic 4k beater, and of course you get to add it to your hand, so pretty decent. Next we got the cream of the crop. This is what I've been waiting for. Terrible Tornado, aka Tatsumaki. Even though she's a basic 0 cost, 1, add the card to your hand, get trigger. I love to see it. So we definitely ain't complaining about that. And yeah, Tatsumaki. So more to come. Speaking of Tatsumaki, we get another zero cost, but this one with step. Which for Tatsumaki, I completely understand because you know she's a psychic, and more so she likes flying and darting around. Especially if you remember her from the manga, she put in a lot of work in the manga. Not spoiling anything. Obviously, at this point, you should. If you don't read it, then pretty much she's darting around, she's soloing, she's fighting OP monsters, other psychics. Who knows who feels? If you care about spoilers, too bad, so sad. The set's been long, the anime's been out long enough, the franchise been out long enough as it is. Turbo Tornado, half step, loves to see it. Definitely gonna be playing her in the deck. And we get an alt version, which is also nice. Now we have another Tatsumaki, a 3-1 Tatsumaki. During your turn, if you use an event card this turn, this card gains 1k BP. So already we're seeing cards that benefit around using event cards, specifically Tatsumaki, where if you do use an event card, she turns from a 3k beater to a 4k beater, which is really good. And also she just generates 2 energy. And not to mention she has a trigger ability to above trigger, so you love to see it. We love being able to run triggers in our deck versus not having a lot of triggers. So I'll definitely take that as a plus. Next we have another Tatsumaki. If on the front line, Hellish Blizzard cards on your field cannot be chosen by your opponent's characters or trigger abilities. This card reminds me of the 1-cost Euphemia from the green Lancelot deck. Because I think the Euphemia protects your Lancelot or your Suzakus from I believe it's event cards or kill spells that your opponent uses from their hand. I could be wrong. But I think it's something similar to that. Whereas this Tatsumaki protects her sister, which I love because it's in reference to the anime and the manga, where Tatsumaki will protect her sister at all costs, even from her own friends, if so be it. Where it's like your pretty much your Fubukis cannot be targeted by your opponent's character or trigger abilities. So even if you're swinging at life and all of a sudden they reveal a special trigger, be like, oh, I'm gonna kill something. Not, you ain't killing Fubuki. That's for damn sure. Your only option is to target Tatsumaki specifically. So I really like that. And of course it's a draw trigger, so you love to see it, and it's 3k BP, so can't complain. And you get an alt version, which is also nice. And we have a raid. I love seeing raids. I think I already went over this card in the past. Who knows? Probably not. I don't care. So pretty much during your turn, if you use an event card this turn, this character gains impact 1. So already you're utilizing the effects of using event cards, versus you use an event card regardless of what it is, your Tatsumaki gets impact 1. So that's already a plus for a 4k beater. And also, if on the front line, reduce the AP cost of your next event card you use from your hand this turn by 1. You can only activate this Turbo Tornado ability 1 time each turn. That's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty good. Once again, just like Silver Fang, where it's like, hey, we're gonna make sure you guys don't abuse this effect, but here's a nice little effect for you. So you're telling me I can take the next event card that I play from my hand and reduce this AP cost by 1. So you already know those restand AP cards that we always play in our decks. Make that free. Already make that free. So that's pretty good if you ask me. And then of course, if you have like whatever the kill spell is, I can make that kill spell free. And on top of that, my Tatsumaki gets impact 1. So that's a really good card. Really powerful card, honestly. So the Tatsumakis are definitely promoting you to play a lot of event cards in your deck. That's what I'm thinking this deck, the Tatsumaki Fubuki deck style, is gonna go. I love the ability, plus we get your trigger, so definitely a nice contender. Definitely playing Tatsumaki as a full buff. And of course we get an alt art. We're definitely gonna be trying to pull that. Of course it's a sign card. Moomin Rider, the hero, the man on the bike. Unfortunately, it's just a basic card here. It's just a simple extra energy generation for a 0 cost character card. So nothing special here. So we can just move on to the next one. And here where the Bustedness begins. We have these 3 energy, 1 cost, 1 AP Saitama. Already 10 KBP. What is this? What is this, bro? Like come on, man. 3 energy, 1K, 10 KBP, bro. Like they gotta be trolling with this set. So let's read it. This character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's abilities. Already we're seeing the brokenness of Saitama. And if on the front line, at the end of your attack phase, move this character to the energy line. So here's how they balance out the card, being like, hey, you're not going to keep a 10k beater on the field to attack and block. Now you're going to move that junk to the back line after your attack. So and pretty much at the end of your attack phase. So it's not that if he already attacks, it's like at the end of your attack phase in general, this guy's on the front line, move it to the back line. You're not blocking with this card, you're only swinging with this card. So I really like that. What's his next ability? Place 1 card from your hand to the sideline. This ability is going to be activated if your front line is not full. Move this character to the front line. So I guess this is just more of a utility ability. I can't think of any immediate advantages to it, but of course there's going to be advantages to the deck depending on how you want to build the deck. But still, just to be able to place a card from your hand to the sideline to move this card up to the front line, it's not bad. Yeah, it'll make sense because this card generates 2 energy. So you're probably using the 2 energy generation to bring out another card onto the field while this card is active. And then you're going to extend your play by pitching a card from your hand and move it to the front line for an aggressive play. So that's what I can see it being used for. So it's definitely a good card right there. Plus it's a buff tree. And we have the other Saitama, the 5 energy, 2 AP Saitama. Let's read what it does. So play this character set to active on the field. Already going back to our earlier video where we were discussing about 2 AP cards. If it's 2 AP, it has to make an impact, and it's already making an impact by coming in active on the field. You love to see it. This character must attack it stable. Again, also building on the fact that, hey, you're not going to be blocking with this character. You will attack every time you can attack. You can't be like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and block with him. Nah, fam. You are attacking with that character for the most case. So damage 2, broken, of course, Saitama. You love to see it. Freaking broken. This character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's abilities. Also broken because it's Saitama. Nothing works against this man. Activate main. Once per turn, place 1 Saitama card from your hand to your sideline. If you do, this card gains impact. So not only does it have damage 2, but you can also discard another Saitama to give it impact. Yep, so we're going to be having loads of fun with this card right here. And when attacking, this card remains set to active, no, set to resting the next time it be switched to active. There's the balancing out. So once again, this is their effect, or Union Arena's attempt at balancing the Saitama cards by saying like, hey, if you swing with this card, it's going to be switched to resting, and it's going to remain resting the next time it's switched to active. Now, I think a way you can get around this, if you have 2 Saitamas that you play out, so like one turn you play out Saitama on the field, you swing with it, it remains set to rest in the next turn, but then on your next turn, while this card is rested, you play another Saitama and you swing with it. So on the following turn, your first Saitama switched to active, so you can swing with it again, and then the following turn after that, your second Saitama switched to active. So you're kind of like taking turns with swinging with both of your Saitamas if you choose to play them out like that, which I can see you could get around the fact that it's like resting, but it still doesn't get around the fact that, hey, these cards are only for attacking. You're not going to be blocking with these cards, which once again is the way of keeping the cards balanced and not making it broken. So I really do like that, but that's like a nice little cheat that you can use to try to get around that that limitation. Plus add to your hand. You love to see it. And we get an alt version, so can't wait to see what that looks like. Actually, I think we already know what it looks like. Yeah, we see what the card looks like. It's a signed card. You love to see it. We got Fubuki, aka Hellish Blizzard. What does she do? Ooh, draw a card, then place 1 card from your hand to your sideline. So already being able to filter through your deck, you love to see it, especially from Fubuki, and she's a draw trigger. So you love to see it. You love to see it. And another one, Hellish Blizzard. What do you do? Look at the top 4 cards from your deck. Reveal up to 1 yellow card with 3 or less required energy on them, and add it to your hand. Then place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So pretty much, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Add any yellow card with 3 energy or less to your hand, and just place 1 to a sideline. So another way of being able to filter or dig into your deck to be able to find the cards you need. So you'd love to see it. And also, if the reveal card is an event card, place it into your sideline instead. Huh. Interesting. So pretty much, if I grab any other card that's not an event card, I can place it in my hand and put another card into my sideline. But if I grab specifically an event card, I have to place it into the sideline. Okay, so I guess there's going to be like another Tatsumaki or Fubuki card later on in the set that's going to allow us to be able to do this, to benefit off of putting that card into the sideline. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Sucks there's no trigger ability, but I guess that would just be broken. And we get an alt version. Nice. Hellish Blizzard. Wow, that's kind of whack. Just generate extra energy when it's active. So it's still Fubuki. Love to see it, but don't really care about these types of cards, honestly, unless we have like 5, 6, 8 energy generated cards, then I would care, but it's all right. It's all right. It gets plus for being Fubuki, though. There we go. There we go. We got some color triggers. I love to see me color triggers, especially when they're only 1 AP. All right, Hellish Blizzard, what do you do? It's Terrible Tornado, aka Tatsumaki, is on your front line. This character gains 1k BP. So definitely giving off the vibes of you playing the Tatsumaki with the Fubuki duo in a single deck. Whereas if Tatsumaki's on the field while you control this Hellish Blizzard, she becomes a 3k beater versus being a 2k beater. But in addition to that, when played, look at the top 4 cards from your deck, reveal up to 1 event card from among them, and add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. And of course, you add the card to your hand, place 1 into your sideline. Way of keeping the card balanced. But still, to be able to dig 4 cards deep into your deck to be able to find an event card that you need. Must I remind you of the earlier card we mentioned in an earlier video, One Punch, the card that deals 1 damage to your opponent just flat out. I can pretty much play that as a play this Fubuki, search for it, add it to my hand so I can start going to town with it. So that's just something off the top of my head, but this is definitely a nice card. It's a color trigger, so you're definitely going to be playing it as a 4 of, plus it generates 2 energy, so that's also a plus there. And we get alt versions. Man, I'm going to be spending much money trying to get all these alt versions, I'll tell you that. Ooh. 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 We got a Raid Fubuki, aka Hellish Blizzard. What do you do? When played, draw 2 cards. Broken. Already busted. You saying me once play I get to draw 2 cards off rip? Come on now. Come on now. Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense. What else do you do? On the front line, place 2 cards from your hand to your sideline. Okay. Why are we doing that? Choose one of the following. Add 1 event card without special from your sideline to your hand. Okay. That's why the other Fubuki places cards into the sideline, places the event card in the sideline, because this Fubuki right here is going to allow you to get that event card back to your hand. And not only that, it's just in general, like I could just be like, hey, I have 2 cards in my hand. I'm gonna pitch both those cards to get this 1 Pacific card, 1 punch. If I'm just trying to get damage in and trying to kill you, I would just get 1 punch if it's already in my sideline at that point, and just play it again. I'm just gonna keep reusing if I have this Hellish Blizzard, as long as I keep getting cards, which at that point I can just say like, oh, draw a card, spend an AP point, draw an extra card. Those are my 2 cards. I'm gonna pitch both of them to grab this specific card from my sideline and start using it again. And because it's not Pacific, and as long as it's not a special trigger, I can do that all day, any day with any event card I'm playing. So of course, like I said, they put it special triggers to try to keep it balanced, but I can already see where this card is going to be getting abused, especially if you have a key card that basically says, hey, you're going to win the game if you have this card. Yeah, any other card doesn't matter because I'm just going to be fishing for that 1 card every single time. Also, It also has a buff trigger, like a buff ability, where it's like all characters on the field gets 1k BP to the end of turn. So not a bad effect. Can turn Fubuki into a 4k beater, but I can definitely see her being used mainly for the first ability to be able to just grab any card you need from any event card you need from the sideline that's not a special trigger. Plus, you draw 2 cards to be able to fuel that. And of course, it's a raid, so you need your raid. And we get an alt version. Love to see it. Eyelashes and Wild Monkey. All right, so this is the racist card. This is the card that if you have a green or a red on your opponent's field, reduce the cost of this card by 1. So, nothing special about it. So we can move on to the next one. The Blizzard Bunch. The Blizzard Bunch. So pretty much her entire mob, her affiliation. Play the sites at the active on your field, of course. And activate main. Switch to resting. You can only activate this ability if you have used an event card this turn. So going under the fact that, hey, you're going to be using a lot of event cards in this type of deck, all characters on the field gain 1k BP until the end of turn. So just pretty much another way to just buff your characters and just go in for that aggressive play. Pretty nice. As far as how important it's going to be used in the Tatsumaki Fubuki style decks, I guess we'll just have to see. Or even other types of decks. So I might be able to see it playing as a 2-up, but only time can tell. We'll have to see when the set fully comes out. Let's go. What do you do? Choose one character on your front line. It gains 2k to the end of turn. If the chosen character is a Hellas Blizzard, it gets impact as well. My mistake. So I can see this card already being abused because from what I'm seeing so far, of course, we are still missing some couple of cards. But it seems like if you're going to be recycling a lot of cards from your sideline anyway, this is definitely a top contender for that because, one, you're boosting up your character's BT by 2k. From what we saw from all the Fubuki cards, I think the lowest one is like 2k. Well, majority of them are like 2k, 25, 3k. So they're going to be buffed to like 4k to 5k B characters. And on top of that, they get impact, so that way they can swing over your enemy's characters and go right straight for their life. And the fact that you can just keep cycling it with Fubuki's ability back into your hand because it's not a special trigger, this could be a good way to be able to close out games quickly. It's like, hey, all of a sudden I did X amount of damage to you. Now I need to close out this game. Oh, let's go sit in the sideline. Bet I'm gonna draw 2 cards this turn. One for my initial draw, one for my AP draw. Get this card back from the sideline. Boom, I'm just going for game. So in this type of deck, I definitely see this card being super valuable because of the fact that, hey, you're just gonna keep sitting and recycling, be able to get that lingering damage in every chance you get. Plus it's a buff trigger, so you love to see it. Esper Sisters. Now, this was one of the cards that I was looking at earlier, which is basically like the Daki and Gyotaro card. I think it was called I'm Never Going to Leave You, I'm Always Going to Be By Your Side. But essentially, it does the same thing. You look at the top 7 cards of your deck, you can reveal up to 1 Tatsumaki or 1 Fubuki card from among them, and then add them to your hand. So you can either add both of them or one of them, just depending on your on what you find in those top 7 cards. Pretty broken because there's really no drawback because it's not like you're placing cards into your sideline. You're just having cards getting added to your hand. So 100%, I can definitely see this being played as a 2 or a 4, depending on the type of deck you want to build. But this is a powerful card indeed. Plus it's a draw trigger, so that makes it even more broken. Hellstorm, 3 energy, 1 AP. Choose one resting character or a character with 1500 less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. So this card kind of delves more into a little bit into, like, say, the resting mechanic of yellow, specifically the resting portion of the Tatsumaki Fubuki deck. Whereas, hey, if there's a character already resting on your opponent's field, I can just flat out kill it. Or if you have like a lower BP character on the front line that you're trying to use as a chump block, I can just kill that as well. So pretty decent card that you can use. Hopefully there's a lot more resting cards or cards with resting mechanics. That way this card can benefit heavily off of. So I guess we'll see going later on into these cards. Incineration Cannon. So this is the special trigger for Genos. Pretty basic. Kill a character with 3k or less BP, or if you have a Genos on your field, kill a character with 5k or less. So pretty basic. Nothing more you need to say about that. Whirling Wind, Flowing Water, Roaring Chi, Rending Skyfist. So the combo attack used to attack that giant centipede, Sinichiro, whatever his name is. What do you do? Cannot use events. Cannot use this card unless you switch one active Silver Flame card and one active bomb card on your field to resting. Okay, so you got to switch a bomb and a Silver Flame card on your field to resting for it to do what? Choose up to one character with 4k or less BP on your front line and sideline it, and then you get to draw a card. It's alright. I'm being honest. It's an okay card. It's not the strongest card. The fact that you're switching a Silver Fang and a bomb character to resting to be able to kill a character at 4k or less BP, give it till you draw a card, it's a little underwhelming. So it's like I switch two characters to resting to kill one character on your field, or I can just swing with two characters to get damage through. So I don't know. I mean, this card's all right, but I think it's just all right. I don't think it's gonna be more than that. I could be wrong, but from the Silver Fang and bomb cards that we saw so far, this card's just all right, honestly. Psychic Power, the special trigger for Tatsumaki. Choose one character with 2k or less BP. Frontline and sideline it. LOL. I hope that's not all it does. If Terrible Tornado is on your field, of course, add 1k BP range to the of the character you may choose with its ability for each event card in your sideline. There's the kicker. So pretty much in the deck where you're going to be playing a lot of event cards and putting event cards into your sideline, now the ceiling for what you can kill is increased, because heck, if you play 10 to 15 event cards in your deck, you're able to kill characters with 10 to 15 plus AP. I mean BP, which this is an event card. So I wonder if this will go and Saitama cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's ability. So you can remove this Saitama from it. I wonder if that goes for the other Saitama. I need to go double check on his abilities, but we'll save that for the green card list. But still, unfortunately, it does have a low ceiling. I mean, it does have a low floor, but it has an incredibly high ceiling, because if you play a lot of event cards, which you probably are going to be playing in this type of deck, you can benefit off of heavily with these special being able to kill high BP characters. Hero. I love the artwork. How Saitama's just walking away from Stereo after he just got bodied by the two monsters after the tournament. Love to see it. This is a raw screenshot. But pretty much this is your final trigger and your restand of your AP card. So nothing special there, but the artwork does go hard, so you love to see it. And guys, bro, this anime can be a troll sometimes, but I understand it, because side note, if you watched, I mean not watched, but if you read the original webcomic series before what's his name, Murata took it up upon himself to actually adapt it even further, this was the original artwork from the original series. I loved it. For what it was at the time, it had a lot of ambition, and it was just a good read back in the day when I was in high school. So shout outs to One Punch Man for keeping the original artwork and adapting it not only in the manga but also into the anime. So you definitely love to see it. You can only use one I merely immobilize them card per turn. Choose one of your opponent's front line. Choose a character on your opponent's front line, switch to resting. If you have a Turbo Tornado or a Hellish Blizzard on your front line, it remains set to rest next time you switch to active. Okay, so this is one of the cards you're going to be using to rest your opponent's characters and have it stay set to resting as they goes into their turn. And what I like about this is not only with Terrible Tornado, but you have a be out on the field as well. You also get that additional effect, which of course, if you're going to be playing the sisters, the Psychic Sisters, which I'm going to call it, you're going to be playing both of them. And you're going to more than likely have at least one of them out on. If not, then it'll be pretty hard not to have at least one. So definitely can see here where you're going under the resting mechanic, how it's building upon the resting mechanic. So far we have 2 cards that really deal with it. A little bit underwhelming, but I'm hoping to see more cards in the future. And that's it with yellow. Exactly. So I think this is just the main card list. I think there are other cards as well. We go all the way to the end. So you have the yellow cards from the yellow cards from the structure deck, which if we can just browse through them real quick, because of course we got the bomb, we got the Genos, like I said, Reynolds. Why is this art the other Genos? Terrible Tornado once again in the original webcomic art versus the Murata 1 art. So love to see it, love the callback. Okay, Saitama, Fubuki, of course, Incineration Cannon, Hero, another Genos, a Genos with double block. That's not bad. And a Raid Genos. Okay, so we get a Raid Genos as well. That gains impact the turn is played, and when sidelined, I can play up to a Genos card with 3 or less required energy. One you can call from my hand, set the rest on the field. Or if I control the Saitama, I can set it to active. All right, not bad. I like that. So additional, more of the defensive mechanism, which of course Genos, he's a cyborg. He's kind of like tank at that. He always comes back, so love to see it. What else we have? Start, love to see it. Silver Feint with the Nullify Impact. Okay. All right, this was the other Tatsumaki that I saw, where as which I was referencing earlier, you can switch to resting 1 active character on your front line with 500 less or 500 or less BP, and if you do choose a character on your opponent's front line, switch to resting as well. So another good resting effect that you can use. Definitely can work well with Hellish Storm or Hellish Blizzard, the Fubuki card. Once again, I am a little disappointed in the fact that you don't get much cards with the resting mechanism. Like, you only get 3 cards that revolve around resting. So I'm itching to see how that works out. I'm gonna have to like do a little bit of play testing once we actually get our hands on the physical cards themselves, see how that works. But from what I'm seeing so far, it seems that I might go a more aggressive Psychic Sisters route versus defensive Psychic Sister route with the resting mechanics. Only time can tell, but that's where I'm leaning towards right now. What else we got? Mutant Rider, of course. Oh wait, this is just a regular Mutant Rider. It doesn't even have a energy, the energy trigger ability or the energy generating ability. So, interesting. And we get another Saitama. So this one is, this character cannot be removed from the field. One's abilities, of course, set to active on the field. Wait, is this the same Saitama? No, this is a different Saitama. Yeah, this is definitely a different Saitama. Choose up to 1 character with 4K less be put on your opponent's front line and sideline it when it's played. So not bad. So a body that can attack. Oh, I didn't even see that. Place this card at the bottom of your deck. Huh. Yeah, you definitely ain't defending with Saitama. But still, it's like 4 energy, 2 AP, set active on your field of swing, plus it kills the character. So I think it plays out. The potential to do damage and or kill 2 characters. So I think it's worth it. I definitely will pay 2 for it. And we get an alt version, of course. The Fubuki. Oh, this is a different Fubuki. Okay, so an additional type of Fubuki that we can play in the deck. Love to see it. That generates 2 energy. And it's a buff trigger, so that's also a plus. Saitama's Apartment. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Saitama card or King card on mono after your hand. All right. I'll take that. And this was the card that I mentioned before in an earlier video. I'm probably going to be playing the Tatsumaki or the Psychic Sisters with this running as a 4 of, mainly because of the fact I don't really care much about the Saitama effect, but because of the fact that if I have 3 or more, or my opponent has 3 or more life, I can just deal 1 damage. So this card is pretty much active all the way until your opponent has 2 life, 2 life left in their reservoir. So I can definitely see myself playing this as a 4 of, especially with Psychic Sisters and Fubuki's ability of being able to just restand, not restand, but recycle event cards from the sideline, because this is not a special trigger, it's a draw trigger. So love to see it. And of course, we got the APs. We definitely gonna be pulling for that AP. We're definitely going for that Fubuki and Tatsumaki AP. If I pull a freaking Saitama and Genesis AP, I'm going to rage. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be tight because I want the Tatsumaki and Fubuki AP. But other than that, that pretty much goes over the entire yellow card list. I'm a little bit worried on how resting mechanics is gonna work, because so far the only set that had good resting mechanics was the JJK, was the Jujutsu Kaisen yellow set with like Gojo and Nabara, which I'm still working on a deck for that I want to get posted out soon. But from what I'm seeing, still better than Yellow Bleach. Still better than Yellow Bleach. But other than that, I've been R from DJR Union, and I guess we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.